now, Carlton?
Yeah. Let me just turn off the volume here. There we go. You missed our clowning already. We just started. That's nice. There's a few people on already. That's always good.
Yeah. I see some questions coming in.
Hey, man.
Oh, yes.
Caitlin Montgomery, you're not allowed to ask questions. Sorry. It's just how it is.
They can hear you now.
Let's see what
She's going to slap me. I'm going to come by the house. She's going to have like a Loge frying pan because she's like a regular frying pan. It's not going to get through your skull.
No, I got one of them big old 24-inch
skillets.
Nice. Yeah, she's pretty strong.
Yeah, I know. She has to deal with you.
Oh, I know.
All right, folks, real quick before we get started, a couple of things. Melvin's. So, the smartest man and woman in the room. We have to keep that going. It's just how it is at this point. They have their second annual open house Saturday, April 22nd. So mark your calendars from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Melvin's Farm to Fork. They've just expanded. We were there today. Actually, the freezers have been moved into a different room. You'll see the layout has changed, and they'll have room for more things that people carry. If you have any questions, just type them into the chat. There is a little bit of a delay, and Mayor is going to be able to answer them.
You got Baylor, and you got.
You may have a dog pop in every now and then.
Yeah, my new friend Lath. What you doing, buddy? Hi. No.
Well, yeah, he didn't say hi, so he's like he's being rude.
You telling him hi? Tell him. Say, tell me hi, Tyler.
Come on, Tyler.
That's right. Hey, buddy.
Go say hi.
Hey.
Hey, there's enough of that. You're gonna go night-night. Oh, wait. Does he have to give you treats? Yeah, we were gonna do this in the office, but it's a little cramped because there's turkey pullets in there right now. Pults. I get corrected all the time. So, like I said, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. If you are a customer already, ask as many stupid questions as you like. Chris is just dying to answer them. He would love to answer them. One other thing, we're now on Instagram, Rumble, YouTube. We'll be on Getter, Gab, and MeWe shortly. I have to get that set up so you could join it everywhere, and eventually we'll also be on Public Square so we can promote all these people as much as humanly possible. So with that, so what got you guys started? Like, what made you start? I already know you were working. Were you both working for Homestead?
No. So I guess we ought to introduce ourselves. I'm Chris Montgomery. And this is my brother-in-law, Tyler. I don't know. We've always dreamed of being farmers. I mean, from childhood. And we both work. Well, I'm a full-time dairy farmer, and he's a full-time concrete man. And you know, like I've said before, we had some family come to us and been doing a lot of research about the food they were eating for some of their health issues. And so it kind of started there, is what actually got us into it. Said if we could produce a quality beef for our family, and then we decided to grow a little bit more. And this year will be our 6th year doing this.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And so, I mean, we enjoy eating quality beef, and I don't know, it's just kind of going from there. eventually we'd like to have our own storefront and see where that takes us. But right now we're just doing our thing.
And right now, the only way people can get it is by contacting you guys, or is it like we can go to Melvin's or there's drop-off locations, or it's just you guys at the moment?
Right now it's just us. This past year, we actually went to an actual farm name. We got big enough that we needed to have a farm name, and that way, all the legal BS that you got to go through nowadays. So we went to Foggy Ridge Cattle Company. Hopefully in the future we'll have storefront. Don't know what the name of it will be, but we're dreamers.
So where did Foggy Ridge come from? I'm
Actually,
afraid to ask. The look on your face is like we were drinking one night and
Yeah, I wish it was that exciting.
yeah, no, actually it was, we spent about 3 weeks going back and forth shooting ideas to each other what we wanted our business name to be, and I was headed to work one morning at 3:00 in the morning, and it was 60 degrees and fog. I mean, just a heavy fog. And where we run our cows at is
what a crew.
Who said that?
Billy.
right on the other side of our.
Hold on a second.
Hey.
Mr. Riddle.
Yeah, let me give a shout out, y'all. Y'all
And Bella wants to know how to get a sweatshirt.
had to get a sweatshirt. Tammy's got to buy one.
Yeah, you got to show up to things to get one, Baylor.
Yeah. Y'all, there's been several podcasts of farming videos. I'm featured in some of them along with Thad and Gale and Amos Denton and Simon Winch, the Englishman everybody knows really well, Appalachian Podcast at Get On Tap.
You took my line.
Well, I mean, I got to give him love too.
I understand that. He's the inspiration behind this.
Yeah.
Billy's like, what a crew. That's what Mayor was just saying.
So yeah, it's just been, we started out with six animals our first year.
Say 5, 6.
Because I know we grabbed from you guys last year.
Yeah, y'all were, yeah. We started out with 6 animals the first year, and 3 or 4 of them went to family. And then the next year we went to.
So next year's 8 and 10 and 15.
Yeah, and we got 27 on the lot. Well, 27 we're raising this year as of right now.
So now the ultimate goal, I imagine, is no more concrete, no more homestead.
Eventually,
hope.
That's the
hope.
dream. That's the dream. That's the dream we're chasing.
Yeah.
But I mean, even if dairy farming, it's still farming. It's a different style of farming. For me, I enjoy
Caitlin
cows.
said no more teaching.
Oh!
Keep dreaming, babe.
You guys need the insurance.
I really enjoy farming. Whether it's working with cows. As a matter of fact, this morning we worked cows. And I don't know, it's a different piece that you find. I spent 8 years in the landscaping industry with my former boss, and I helped my dad since the time I was 9 with his landscaping business. And I don't know, it's just I grew up running cows where we lived at, and me and my cousins we put them in the headlocks and we'd climb on them and see who could stay on the longest.
Nice.
And I never had a dream of being a PBR or being a professional bull rider. Although I did try to do it one time. I got about 3 steps away from the gate, and the man that owned the bull said, "No, I don't think I can let you do it." My dad said, "You crazy idiot." He said, "You got on it, wouldn't you?" I said, "Yeah, I'd have got on it just for, life's too short." But
It would have been shorter that time.
probably so. I think I got health issues now, back issues now. It'd probably been, yeah. But no, it's a dream, man.
And what about you?
Yeah, grew up, my grandfather had beef cattle right across the road, drove a truck, and I was like, that's what I want to do. And didn't really grow up. After I got a little bit older, went into construction, didn't really have a lot of interest there for a few years, and started getting back in it. And the hours aren't any better, but
You're doing it for yourself.
Yeah, that's it.
One of the things.
You're not in Suffolk one day, Greensboro the next, and you're not burning the roads up and working all day, driving all night. You might be working, but at least you're at home. So that's what it is for me, really.
Yeah, one of the biggest things for me is me and my sister. We lost our parents. I was 4 and she was 2, and so we had family that helped.
The asshole fault.
Oh yeah. We had family that that was there for us day in and day out. But like I said before, when me and my wife got married and started talking about being serious about having a family, what are you doing, Charcoal? I want to be there and be able to. I don't want to work at that day-to-day job where I have to clock in and clock out and just spend a couple hours with my daughter here and there. But I do that to an extent now, but as she gets a little older, a couple weekends ago my wife wasn't feeling very good, and so me and my little girl we loaded up in a truck and we went and fed cows. And that's her hot ticket right now. It's cows. What are you doing, Charcoal? Y'all see I'm joined by the main man of the show here tonight, Charcoal. But it's we're just chasing a dream of something we love. That's what it is.
Any questions, man?
If you're interested in Foggy Ridge apparel, you can contact Armored Apparel at in Rocky Mount across from Fly Gym. They have our logos. Order whatever you want to. Hats, sweatshirts, t-shirts, just about anything you want there.
Go lay down.
What else you got, Bubba?
So now, where can they find your stuff? Not your shirts, but the meat. So there's, I don't know. Should I just go get that brisket that's sitting on the stove that you're...
You could.
Actually, I'll let Tyler answer that one. He's kind of our
So right now, you basically just reach out to Chris or myself.
No, is there a website or is that in the works?
Right now, we're working on a Facebook page. We've got it started. We need to do a lot of updating. We're trying to get into a website and trying to figure out what we got to do, what we got to push, what buttons we got to hit in order to make it work right.
You guys did send out the letter with those packages.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now, is that something anybody can get in on?
Anybody.
Good, because I uploaded it to the page.
Just to be up front, we are actively looking to actually do a storefront. We're pursuing that pretty heavily.
Like a butcher shop?
No, it'll be more along the lines of like a farmer's market. It's what we have found in our 5 years of doing, or 6 years of doing this, is a lot of people have gotten used to being able to go to the grocery store and you get what cuts of meat you want for that week. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. Because it's convenience.
I don't know if I agree with you though, but
Well, I'm
going to be the New Yorker.
Yeah, as a
I am
broad
a New Yorker.
view. Yeah, you are a New Yorker. You damn Yankee.
You mean the shit that's in most of the stores?
Right. But as a broad view,
Don't be polite. You're in my house.
I know, but you've gotten used to go to the store and you get your bread and eggs and meat and butter and you get what you need when you need it. And so a lot of people that are our customers have had to make an adjustment and buy freezers because right now we're only selling quarters, halves, and wholes.
Glad I had the freezer already.
Yeah. So you're talking about filling your freezer halfway full of meat, and then you don't have anywhere else. And the upfront cost of that is a pretty big chunk. It's a whole cow runs what, Tyler?
Well, it depends on the weight.
Well, yeah, it depends on the weight. But
$300 to $3,500 probably fully processed.
Yeah, fully processed, and I mean, a lot of people don't, keep that kind of cash just laying there. I mean, if you got that kind of cash, I'll gladly take it, but
you already have.
Yeah, I know I have, and as long as you enjoy it, that's all that matters.
Yeah, man, it's getting ready to prep the meat for St. Patrick's Day.
But so we see our business and our future being able to push forward going through a storefront, and unfortunately, as much as I hate it, going USDA inspected so we can sell by the cuts and
that's what you would need for the storefront.
Yeah. We're looking at a couple different locations. We won't go into detail on that. But yeah, it's
relatively close.
Relatively close.
Yeah, definitely keeping it in the county.
Within 15.
I would hope it would stay in the
This
county.
corner of the
This
county.
corner of the county, somewhere between Boone's Mill and Burnt Chimney, is about all we'll go with that.
I'll dig later.
Yeah. Well, I mean, right, like I said, we're pursuing it pretty heavy, but we're 2 weeks into it.
Oh, so this is something new now.
Well, it's not new. It's an idea that we've been pitching, kind of what we want to go to and what we'd like to see. It's just a matter of when it happens. And at one of our little company get-togethers, we talked about it and decided that we probably ought to at least put some numbers to some pins to the paper and crunch some numbers and.
Now you're looking to rent or buy it outright?
Well, we don't know yet.
Or lease?
Yeah, don't really know yet. But it's.
I mean, come on, the economy's so awesome. You guys should just.
Yeah.
You guys should just have the money laying around,
Yeah. I went to the bank the other day and they laughed at me. I asked them for a $1 bill.
I laugh at you all the time, but for different reasons.
I know.
Yes, Charcoal, say hi to your buddy.
Hey, buddy, what you doing?
Have you ever seen a Chihuahua Pit Bull mix before?
I have not.
Yeah.
That's a new one.
But,
I just want to know who the brave one was in that relationship.
Yep.
But yeah, it's we enjoy it. It's hey,
Come on. Come on, you pest.
you gonna make my wife jealous.
Well, at least Leif flicks your ears.
Yeah.
Come on, Charcoal. Come on.
See, Daddy.
Come on.
All right, no one's really asking any questions. But,
They're all making comments.
No one's really making any comments.
I'm shocked.
But yeah, everyone's behaving.
But
What have been some of the difficulties in this little venture of yours?
I don't really know. There's a difficulty you can't name.
Yeah.
You know, even
Is it difficulties or growing pains?
The big one is 2020.
Yeah,
Trying to grow in that economy, I think, really.
yeah.
Or do anything in that economy.
Actually, 2020.
I don't know. I was
Last year.
essential.
21.
20, yeah.
I couldn't, I could sit home and get paid like so many people I knew.
Well, we were essential too, but
Yeah.
you know, I will say this past year, you know, 2021. I said this is 2023. 2021. We had all 10 animals sold by October 1st. And this past season, 2022, we had 6 out of our 10 or 15 that we had 6 of them sold by the Friday before kill date.
Wow.
Damn.
Yeah.
Now, is that because of lack of knowledge, or like
No.
you were saying, just not enough space?
Yeah, well, it's, the price up front with everything going up, and everything's going up.
Well, that's something I wanted to bring up to you guys, because I've had this argument with people. Some people we know, and then people you guys don't know, but people I've met,
Yeah.
especially with the stay local. And they're like, well, I can go to Kroger's and I can get this for whatever a pound, and I can get this and I can get this. And the first thing I bring up to them is, well, where does that come from? Because a lot of people don't realize.
Is it unpackaged in the U.S.?
Well, yeah, a lot of people don't realize that the meat can come from overseas, but they will stamp "Made in the USA."
Yeah.
And all it is they got the side of beef from Australia.
And it was unpackaged in the U.S.
Yeah, and then they processed it here.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, my comment to them, or to many people on that, is it may seem a little steep in the beginning, but here's the upside. Well, not everybody, but I happen to know the people who raise the animals.
Yeah.
I've seen them alive, and then I've seen them unalive
Yeah.
shortly thereafter. They're healthy animals.
Yeah.
They're not full of chemicals and drugs and the whole 9 yards. Whereas you don't know what you're getting at like Kroger's or Walmart or Food Lion. I got nothing against those guys,
Yeah.
but I grew up in New York City. I know what it's like to take a friend out to go to a steakhouse like Peter Luger's and pay $200 for lunch. But yeah, you're getting a steak that you've never had before,
Yeah.
because they process their own meat. They have their own cows. They have their own people that slaughter the animal. They hang them for 21 days, like somebody else I know just recently did that.
Yeah. You might get a comment from my wife on a 21-day thing.
Really?
We'll see what she
Yeah, I
says.
think we're gonna go to 28 next year.
Really?
Well, let's see. Is there? Let's look.
No.
You give it just a few minutes. We'll find out whether we're going to 28 days or not.
I'd say whether you was. I said,
What did Travis say? I can't read it. Does it say he's watching? Or
Yeah, it just says he's watching.
Okay. Hey, Travis, what's up?
Heather.
Oh, we don't care about Heather.
I wasn't even on here. I was messaging my sisters. Nice, Caitlin. Nice.
Wow, Caitlin. Nice supporting the family. You see this?
Yeah.
You're getting more love from Leif than you are your own wife.
I know. But, no, it's, as a family thing, and what's kind of helped us is, for the last 5 years, we've actually processed, well, we've probably done it more than that, but, for the last 5 years, we've processed all of our own meat. It's me and my brother-in-law and some other family members, and we actually process it ourselves. So that's helped us learn a lot about where the cuts come from, about what to expect from an animal. Different things that when you hand a customer a cut sheet, they have a lot of questions because a lot of people's never done it before. and so processing our own animals ourselves has given us the ability to have more knowledge to help explain it to a customer. And knowledge to explain something like that to a customer can be a break or make point whether you have them again next year. You know, they spend $1,200-$1,300 on a half a cow, and you don't spend the time with them to explain the cut sheet and what to expect. Well, a half a cow is, you know, anywhere between 500 and 600 pounds, and they get back 250 pounds of meat. You know, there's a big gap there. You know, a lot of it depends on, you know, if you get ribeyes with bone or T-bones or ribs, and you know what we found that we seem to average about 50 pounds of bone loss per quarter of animal. And talking to some of the other local producers, that seems to be about what they have too.
So roughly 200 pounds an animal.
Yeah.
Just
in
the bone.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, and like y'all got most of y'all's bone back for the dogs and the bone marrow soup. And,
Yeah, the organ meats.
Yeah.
The offal. And
a lot of customers don't do that.
right.
So you mean?
I think it depends on how you grow it too.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. It's just
like I actually like scrapple. What does that tell you?
That's just like, you know.
The look on your face just sounds like, oh my God.
A couple weeks ago,
shocked,
you know, a couple weeks ago, we done the 100th episode of the Appalachian Podcast.
Yeah. It got interesting.
It did. It did.
If you haven't heard it, it's because it's a subscription only podcast.
Actually, it's not.
I thought it was subscription only.
No, Billy released it as a.
Why am I giving you money, Billy?
No, so he was going to release it on the Patreon, and he decided to release the 100th episode as a teaser as to what you'll get when you sign up for the.
Oh, so drunken debauchery is what he wanted. You, Amos, Simon, Billy. I'm surprised his wife didn't come in at some point and slap you all with a skillet.
Simon called you guys a wanker, and Heather said Simon called you a wanker.
Simon was the drunk one.
Simon was drunk and belligerent.
And Heather said comments are coming your way, SHNT for brains. But Travis actually asked a good question.
Yeah.
Have you seen any issues getting the medicine, shots, or antibiotics for your animals?
Not really.
We pretty much don't do any of that stuff, so it might help us out a lot.
I was going to say the past 3 years we've actually tried to steer away from that as much as possible. We did have an animal that got pretty sick. Anyway, we had the vet come, and the vet helped us out with him. But you know that's. So, as a dairy farmer and as a farmer, period, I sit on the fence about using medicines and stuff for the animals. But as a beef producer and the beef that I'm raising for my customers, we've decided that we're not going to use medicines unless it's absolutely necessary.
Chris doesn't have it.
You know, it's just that's our business is custom raised beef. We want high end quality meat, and that's just where we sit at on that. You know, if we have, if we have to use it, we will. But that's not something we just use freely and on a regular basis.
Now, here's something that confuses a lot of people. Grass-fed and grass-finished. Go ahead, eat. You want to explain that to people? Yeah, I know. You got the same look I have on my face, like, really? But that is a question you're going to get asked.
Yeah.
Because people think one thing, and when they hear the answer, it's kind of like, wait, what?
So you've got two things there. You've got grass fed and grass finished. If you look up what is required for an animal to be considered grass fed beef, you will find that the last 90 days of the animal's life is strictly grass.
That's for grass finished.
That's grass fed.
Grass finished.
A grass fed can be the last 90 days put on a feedlot and still be considered grass fed if they don't have grass finished on this package.
Which to me is like completely opposite of what you would think that it would be.
90 days. 90 days.
Yep,
the last 90 days.
And the average animal is about how old by the time it goes to slaughter?
Well, it depends.
Say 18 to 24.
See, I like veal, so I like babies.
It depends, because a lot of the hamburger you buy in the store, this is just simple farming facts. A lot of the hamburger you buy at the store, unless it is specifically tagged, is dairy cow. I mean.
So they stopped producing milk, and now
Is it really?
they're going to slaughter.
Now I say that Thad done a really good job of explaining that in one of our farming episodes.
The smartest man in the room.
The smartest man in the room. But yeah, so can you imagine the size of the landfill that it would take to bury every dairy cow?
Yeah, it makes sense.
And quite honestly, we don't produce enough beef in the U.S. strictly beef cows to provide the quantity.
Like all the crap that goes into ground beef.
The
and all
quantity.
Yeah.
Well, you can't even buy American beef in a lot of countries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I can get English beef.
So just Heather agrees with you. She said she doesn't use any medicine, pharmaceuticals on any of my animals unless they're sick.
Yeah.
And I use herbs and natural remedies. If they do get sick, kind treatment means the world to good energy.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think one thing is we get a lot of, like our mineral comes with garlic and cinnamon in it. I don't know if it seems to be working out pretty good. But also, like everything we have is on pasture the whole time we own it. We feed them grain, but they're on pasture. They're not standing in there in waste and mud up to
So
their
like on a
knees
feedlot.
On a feedlot type setting. So I think that really helps us a lot in not having health issues also.
Yeah.
Fresh air, they can move from spot to spot.
Yeah. So I mean, in the spirit of all honesty, me and Tyler kind of go back and forth on this. We are more of a feedlot setup. Now let me explain that. What I mean is, we're working to get mama cows that will, calve, and those will be our cows that we sell. Right now, we're buying from local farmers who have calves that are ready to. Instead of them sending them to the stockyard, we'll buy them.
Yeah.
And in doing that, we're able to, a lot of the people that we buy from. Hey, hush.
Shush.
A lot of the people that we buy from, we know how they're set up. We know how, they don't push medicines unless it's necessary, and all the kindness part of it. So with that, that's where we're more of a feedlot setup. We buy them and wean and finish them out. But like he said, they have access to pasture all the time.
Yeah.
We do feed them grain the whole time we have them.
But eventually the goal is to have your own pasture land so they could just go roam and.
Well, they do that now. They do that now. And we've had a little place. We're looking at doing a couple of strictly grass fed. We don't know if there'll be a market for that, but we are.
Oh yeah, I think you'll find. Well, besides Mayor, I think you'll find a lot of people as
But they're grass fed now.
as they're getting smarter.
Yeah,
Well,
they're grass fed now. You know, that's what they graze.
Yeah.
They graze. They just get grain to help them along a little bit, and make sure
so
they're getting
supplemental.
supplemental.
Instead, it's so nice to have your freezer stocked with all the meat you need.
Oh yes.
Who said that?
Your wife.
Oh yeah.
Well, thanks for the support. It
Yeah.
was nice of you.
Yeah, we had a freezer and it went out and we got it fixed, and a year later it went out, and about 2 weeks before we processed our animals.
Is that when I came to see you guys?
Yeah,
Because now there's a third member to the crew, if I'm correct, right?
it is. So we bought this new freezer.
That's the one I saw.
Yeah, and
It's nice.
and
It's big.
about 3 weeks after we bought it, it's stacked full.
Why? It was pretty full. It was pretty full that day because that was what.
Well, I'm talking about my personal freezer.
Oh, I
my
thought you
personal
were talking
freezer.
about the walk-in.
No.
That was pretty full
no,
too.
No. So yeah, it's
You give me $20, I'll tell you the location.
the bottom half. You better be more than $20. It better be more like 30,000.
$20 is good enough for me.
Here, shush.
But yeah, so the bottom half is
Pack of cigarettes, a 6-pack. I'm good.
yeah. The bottom half is beef and the top half's pork. We filled it up in a matter of 3 weeks. But that'll last my family of
I'm
3.
still waiting for my pawn house, but
Oh
it's
yeah.
okay.
Hey, it's in the freezer. I get it
Oh.
to you. I get it to you.
On a side note, remember we were talking about elderberry syrup?
Yes.
We happen to be at Melvin's Farm to Fork. They actually have elderberry syrup.
Sweet.
Peace and Love Farms or something like that.
It's a local.
It's a local.
I thought you was going to say peace of mind. I was going to say that. You trying to get me fired?
No, it's like Peace and Love Farms. I feel bad because I was gonna take a picture, but I left my camera in the car so I
Okay.
could send it to you.
Yeah.
But as we were talking, I'm like,
Ah.
yes, he'll have. Did he make? By the way, Caitlin, real quick, on a personal note, did he make you elderberry syrup? Because we sent him home with the elderberries.
I did.
Oh,
I did.
how was it? I'm not asking you. I'm asking her. Because she was the one who I saw laying on the couch,
Yeah.
dead to the world.
That's right.
Well, she works in a petri
Stop.
dish.
Oh.
Hey,
Hello. Stop.
good night.
But yeah, I mean it's so yeah, I mean one of the other things, it's not one of the difficulties. It's this past year was a reality check.
Because of how many animals you had and
Yeah.
what you had to.
Yeah, so we actually doubled our herd. Well, we added 7 more to our herd with the expectations of having them completely sold.
Oh no,
And
something's coming.
She said it was spicy and she could barely. It was very spicy, and she could barely drink it. She thought she was dying.
she thought she was dying before I made it. So
That's true.
if anything, I probably just pushed it over the edge a little bit.
Why was it spicy?
I don't know why it was spicy. I didn't
Okay,
add
did you-
anything to it.
okay, good.
It was probably because her throat was so
Yeah,
raw.
probably.
Yeah,
I was like, did you put like red pepper on that?
you put jalapeno in it.
We've actually switched. We've actually switched our grain provider. We're buying all of our grain from Daniel Austin.
Yes.
Little red hen.
Yeah, we're buying all of our grain from Daniel Austin, so it's non-GMO.
Non-GMO.
I'll put it to you this way: when Mare has eggs, it's a store-bought egg. Even when it was our own eggs, and we had either the Tractor Supply, because everybody starts out, doesn't matter who you are.
Oh, yeah.
You go to Tractor Supply first because it's like,
Tractor
oh, it's
Supply
convenient,
or
I
the
know where it was.
Purina
And then you
or
told
the,
us, MCO, we went
whatever.
there. And then someone filled us in on Daniel, we went there. But when Mare would have eggs, it would give her indigestion.
No, it wouldn't give me indigestion. It
would-
would
it
literally
would-
go through.
It would pass through. I'm trying to be nice
I
about
know.
it.
Well, that's not.
It would make her shit up a storm. All right, since we're going to go that way. And ever since we've been using Daniel's stuff from the Little Red Hen,
Doesn't phase me in the least.
we had eggs today, and we had to do some, like, we had to go to Simon's to pick something up. And in the back of my head, I'm like, wait, she hasn't had to hit the bathroom yet. That's weird. Why isn't this happening? You shush. No one asked you a question.
It's the feed. Guaranteed, it's the feed. That's the only
But
thing.
yeah,
that
ever
changed.
since that, and it's like crack for the, at
Oh,
least
yeah.
for the chickens. It's like they're like with their wings going.
Right.
I need more. I need more.
And you know, to piggyback off of the homestead creamery, you know, happy cows produce quality milk. You know, if an animal's happy and they're getting the right nutrition that they need, they'll produce all day long.
Oh yeah.
And you know, if they're getting the feed that they need, they'll produce 2 pounds easy a day. You know, you can push them a little harder, and you know
They'll gain 2 pounds of weight after each feeding. Once they've done
a day. Yeah,
Still, that's
yeah. And you know, that's if they're getting the right nutrition. I mean, and that's without hey.
people are talking.
That's without pushing them that hard. Now you can push them. You can push them a little harder, and get 2.5 to 3 pounds a gain. But some of that comes down to genetics, and the other comes down to in order to get 3 pounds a gain a day, you're going to have you know, a free choice grain system. It means that they can spend as much time as they want to with the grain bump.
Yeah. Now, is that a good thing or a bad thing? Well, I can imagine it's a bad thing because now you're spending a lot more money than you thought you were going to on grains.
Yeah.
Could you stop?
Come here.
I mean,
Manhandling my puppy on live
the
whatever.
more time they spend at the grain bump, the more weight they're going to put on. But if they're eating all the grain they want, they're not getting any exercise, and probably I'm going to say 85 to 90% of the time they're not out grazing.
Right.
Like you know. So I mean it's a toss up.
Yeah, I was gonna say they're putting on fat, but that don't mean they're putting on muscle.
Yeah.
I mean, you want muscle.
No, it's
too.
probably not marbled fat either. It's probably just fat.
Just a big old layer of fat.
Fat
Yeah.
deposits.
Yeah.
See, Heather agrees. Medicated feed for chickens gave her major burn in her sternum.
Damn.
You know what it sounds like to me? It sounds like a lot of old people issues. I mean,
Wow.
did I say that out loud? I'm
You
sorry.
know, we're the
Dad.
same age.
Sorry.
We're the same age.
Are y'all?
Yeah.
Same year. Yep. Same
Wow.
damn age.
Wow.
We'll get him, Heather. It's okay.
And she you know, I'm
I love you,
not,
babes.
I'm not saying anything, but
So Carlton said
Mary could get you from a different zip code.
he feels like he's watching an old martial arts movie with a delay.
Oh God.
But
Sorry. That sign language is mine.
let me know when
Wait,
you
you
get
know
that
what?
one,
Hold on.
Carl.
Hold on a second. He lost power yesterday. Carlton did. And I asked him, you know, you have a generator. I didn't want to waste the gas. It was time to go to bed.
That was just an excuse to snuggle up next to Carlissa.
But why would she want to snuggle up next to him? You've seen Carlton, right?
Oh, all right.
I mean, come
Being
on.
mean- what's this? The Being Mean show now? That's great.
It's not being mean. It's truthful.
So nice.
I could use his head as a solar panel.
Now that is actually true.
I love you, Carlton.
So bad.
I bet you could get 40 megawatts off
Caitlin
that
said,
thing.
"You'll be nice."
No.
Yes, Mrs. Montgomery.
She hears that enough.
That's why I said it. I mean, she's only up the street.
Oh yeah. We got a few minutes ahead of her, but you'd be surprised what she can do with that little car.
No, I can imagine.
But yeah, so I just what got you started? How long? How often? How often, Tyler?
How often what?
So how often can people right now hit you guys up? Because you do have, if you go up on the Stay Local in the files, you'll see a form, and it's not a cut sheet, it's actually a bundle sheet.
Mm-hmm.
So how often can people grab something like that from you?
Well, hang on a minute. It's not really a bundle sheet. It's a share program.
Well, a share program. How often, or how do they go about doing that?
I think we.
Should be a monthly, like basically a monthly share.
subscription.
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh no.
Carlton said, "Speaking of haircuts, Nick's in need of a trim." And Simon said, "How is Chris the most handsome man in the room?"
Wow.
Yeah. I feel attacked.
And Heather said, "Carlton, Nick is sporting the chia pet look."
The chia. Wow.
Chi. I'm gonna start spreading seeds on
Charcoal.
my face.
Could you stop?
What? Charcoal, shut up. Charcoal, I'll get the airsoft. I'll get the airsoft. Not that I'm going to shoot him, but as soon as he sees it, he gets very quiet.
So do you have any other questions?
I don't have any other. I was hoping some of these other folks would.
So you can elaborate on that a little bit, Tyler, on the monthly share as to why we have to do it as a share and it's not a bundle.
Yeah, so basically, right now everything we're doing is through like a custom exempt,
USDA.
and so USDA exempt process, and so basically you're buying a part of a cow. You're not buying a box of beef. So that's, I guess, the difference in a bundle box and a share.
So basically, they own part of that cow. So that quarter of the cow.
That's right. That's right.
Simon said the FBI are watching.
Huh?
You know, be careful. The FBI are watching.
They're always watching.
That's right.
They hit me up and ask me why I haven't been looking at porn lately.
Government
so I
needs
don't
their
know.
hands on everything.
You haven't had your own
What?
NSA or FBI investigator just hit you up randomly like, we noticed, are you okay? We noticed you haven't been doing this or you haven't been doing that. Oh, I get that all the time.
Wow.
You didn't know that?
No. I mean, I know they're watching. I could really give a flying fluke.
Did you just say fluke?
A flying fluke.
Behaving.
Look, I am behaving because I am representing.
Yes, no, I know. Well, what did Simon just say? Because I just saw the red coat pop up from Zulu the movie.
No, he said the FBI ate watching, and then he was like, "Oh, damn it!"
But yeah, so you know, we've yet to date to use a USDA processor.
But in order to do the storefront, like we were talking about earlier, you would have no choice. You'd have
Yeah,
to do that.
and pretty much we're going USDA.
Now, what does that change for you as far as the process goes then, when you go to USDA?
It's not really the process. It's
the cost.
It's the cost.
So how does that change your cost?
See, what is it, $180, $200 to get the stamp per head, something like that.
So let's round it up, $200 per head of cattle. So if you had 15, 20, you're paying $200 a pop right off the top.
Somewhere in that neighborhood, yeah.
What a racket.
Hour
Business.
and a half down the road from here. It's a USDA processing plant. They're charging, what I tell you, $1.20.
That sounds about right.
It was somewhere around $1.20 a pound
To process an animal.
to process an animal.
And that's the actual weight, not the hanging weight. So you have the 900.
That's on the hanging weight.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's based off hanging weight. And then we've managed to, well, I mean, we've seen it from the time we started. I think the first year it was a $50 kill fee or $50 harvest fee, and 55 cents a pound processing.
I think it's 55 and 65 cents.
And then the next year it was up.
So now we're at 80 and 85 cents a pound.
Yeah.
Well, we're not, but
processors are. So you add what, another 60, 70 cents to that? Another 40 cents.
35, 40, something like that.
So I mean, so that brings the price up for the end user. And our theory has always been, if we produce an animal like we're supposed to and take care of them like we're supposed to, as long as it's a state inspected plant, which they are, then we shouldn't have nothing to worry about. But in order to sell one cut of meat at a time to a customer, it's got to have that USDA stamp on it.
Now, what about...
And that's federal.
What about the one that's on 122? That's not a...
No,
they don't kill.
They don't kill anymore.
Oh, so they'll just process the meat, but they don't...
Yeah, they basically get in like
side of beef, and then they'll...
Basically, yeah, it's already already got the USDA stamps, chicken, beef. They offer pretty good variety, but that's how they get it.
Yeah. If you want to know more about my opinions on the USDA,
Well, you want to hear Simon's because he just.
I could already see the paragraph.
I was gonna say y'all go into
the sooner folks stop supporting big box stores, Franklin County will benefit directly and immediately. We must support our local farmers and return to our agricultural roots. The FDA and USDA suck.
Wow, he ended it at suck.
Simon's sitting in his house going,
oh yeah.
But yeah.
No, he's doing this.
Yeah.
And Jerry said all of these layers are added in the name of safety.
But that's the problem, though. I mean, it's really not safety. I mean,
I've seen processing plants, and they're not that clean.
Well, if you really want to get into the nuts and bolts
I know the meat does.
Of the, what we've talked about, and we can talk about it here. I don't have all the numbers off the top of my head, but go to the Appalachian podcast, watch the first farming. It's in two parts. The first farming podcast. Watch that one, and then
listen to it.
Or I'm sorry, listen to it, and then scroll down a little bit and listen to the second one. That one's called The Appalachian Farmer, The Ugly Truth. But the first one with Amos, I can't remember the numbers right off the top of my head, but the processing plants allow so many parts per million of rat.
Oh, that's everything. Coffee.
Yeah.
Coffee, they allow a certain amount of bugs in ground coffee.
So my thing with that is, you've got a local processor. That's his bread and butter. He's going to take care of his facility, and he's not going to allow that stuff to go through. He's state inspected. Why can't I ship my meat piece by piece, out of a storefront? If I get a meat handler's license, it says that I'm certified to handle meat. Why can I not sell uninspected meat uninspected USDA meat out of my freezer piece by piece if it's going through a state inspected facility. That's the federal government.
Yep.
They've got to have their hands on it. That's their fee that you've got to pay.
I thought I paid that in taxes.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, so I don't really want to. I don't really want to go into all. I mean, I'm going to stay more of why
You're trying to stay.
I'm trying to stay. Y'all gonna get me fired up, and if I get another drink or two in me, I'm good. I'm good. Set that back over.
So we have a lot of comments now. Heather's talking about her goat's milk being unpasteurized, incredibly good for humans. Jerry said his comment was sarcastic. We know that, Jerry. Carlton said, on a serious note, anyone that's concerned about the big expense up front, give you guys a chance. You won't be disappointed with the quality and quantity. Heather said, lead, mercury, etc. can be added to the okay for consumption list, too.
It already is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Caitlin said, you've got to drive home. She doesn't plan on coming out to get you.
I have an extra bed and a couch, floor, kennel.
No, if I keep on, they're gonna think I'm an alcoholic, and I'm really not.
Just when you hang out with us.
I just a drink or two to take the edge off. Now the 100th episode that went for, like I said, that
It was 4 hours.
4.5 hours.
It was 4 hours. And all I could hear in the background was Amos's can. So.
But yeah, I mean, yeah. My biggest thing to our customers and people who are thinking about using us is we buy our cows from local people that we know. Every stitch of feed that goes into our cows is produced locally in this county. Even before we went to Daniel Austin,
You were going,
we were buying feed from Bruce.
Yeah.
From Exchange Milling. And I'm going to say 90% of the feed that he buys is from people right here in the county. Now, he gets some stuff on rail cars and stuff, but the specific feed we were buying is produced by different
Hopefully not Ohio.
grain farmers in the county.
Yeah,
So
hopefully
that-
not Ohio.
All of it is 100% Virginia grain,
Yeah.
but
And that's-
some of it
and
might
that-
not be Franklin.
That, you know what? As long as it's
But I could,
within a certain community,
yeah.
I mean, that's...
Have you noticed a difference with Daniel's feed? I mean, I know with the chickens, we definitely have.
I mean,
I'm not
You'll
going to
probably
say,
know it's slaughter because you basically
yeah,
just...
I'm not going to
Yeah.
say yay or nay as to whether we've noticed a difference.
I think when we get a new group, I think I have noticed they come up to it a little bit better,
Yeah.
a little bit quicker.
We've got, I was going to say, we've got some that, I mean, they'll flat out run you over.
That's like
That's
the
the
chickens.
I'm serious.
I come home in the morning. I get home at like 8 o'clock in the morning because I work nights.
Okay.
And I have like 10 or 12
They
chickens
meet you at the car door.
meeting me at the car
They
door.
go through the
They'll
electric
see
fence.
me pull up. They go through the electric fence. They'll see me pull up. They know my routine by heart. I back into my spot. They're just following me. I open the door and there's the rooster and a bunch of hens like, all right, dude, let's go. I'm like, you know the routine. Dog's got to come out first. Then I'll
Yeah.
feed you.
Yeah,
And it's literally, they're pecking at my hand to get to the food.
yeah.
I don't know what Daniel does. I don't know what magic he puts in there, but
Well,
let him keep
but
it up.
That's you know, when they're getting a quality feed and they're getting what they need, they're happy.
Mhm.
And they're going to act like that. Like I said, I mean, we've got 4 or 5. I mean, you can't get the gut. You can't get the gate shut behind you without them knocking you. You know.
See, for us, it's easy. We notice right away because we get the eggs that day.
Yeah.
You guys won't really notice anything until it comes time to process them.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But I don't know. And I'm not dissing any provider we've had, I do think that they have kind of slickened up a little faster.
Yeah.
Probably.
Maybe they're, and it might just be, the summertime kind of rolling. I mean, the spring coming around, and maybe some of the grass starting to come out too. Because that makes.
You good?
I do need to sleep sometime tonight.
Oh.
That does make a little bit of a difference, but the coats starting to slick up, starting to get a little shinier. And that's going to happen when they get the grain they're needing. But I'm telling you, we've got some. We've had, some of the ones that we didn't sell last year were actually. They really wasn't big enough to ship off last year, so we didn't ship them anyway. But I mean, they're full from their hop to their tailbone.
I was gonna say that.
And I mean,
huge now.
I mean, I would if I
Now,
had
in
to guess,
comparison to the ones that you guys processed at that's your cousin, right?
well, it'd be-
my brother.
it'd be
Oh,
his
that's your brother.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which is
That they're about that big now, right? Those were some big
They're
cows.
getting there.
they're getting there. They're
No,
not
not
quite
quite.
that big yet. They were. What we?
They were 1,000 pounds.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought
Roughly.
I thought you were saying like
990 or something like that.
between
Yeah.
nine
Oh my God.
and a
Oh,
grand.
Yeah.
Easy.
goodness.
Yeah.
They were big.
Yeah. We'd like to see them a little bigger. I think we'll get there. But it's let the animal produce a little more meat itself and not have to push it so hard, which I don't think we've pushed them hard at all. As we're growing, we're learning more information.
Yeah.
So it's fun. I mean,
Watching
we've
you
actually-
guys work.
yeah,
That was your dad I met.
yeah.
My dad and grandfather.
Yeah. Watching everybody, I was like, this is fun.
Yeah.
I like this.
Yeah.
It reminded me when I was a kid.
Yeah. And that's what it's about for us is family. I mean, I've got a lot of people I call you and Mary family.
Oh,
I call Simon. I mean, I call
what's wrong with you?
Y'all are my family. I mean,
Mary.
even though you're not blood,
Ew.
you're family and you're a part of our community, and that's what
I am?
we. Huh?
I thought I was a damn Yankee.
Well, you are, but you've been down here long enough. I'm proud to say that you're family.
All right, I'll take
If you're not family or a close friend, how about that? But our community is, from my point of view, and for me personally, the Burnt Chimney Boone's Mill community, that our family did, but the community as a whole, they watched out for me and my sister growing up. Dude, I can sit here and I can list off bus drivers, aunts, uncles, just different members of the community, and that's what we're about. We want to spend our money and collect our money locally, because every dollar that you spend with us goes right back to Daniel or somebody.
Right, it stays
Yeah,
here.
it stays here.
That's right here.
We went to Simon's for the Super Bowl. That was the first time we had gone to and unfortunately, we had to go to Kroger's. We got, I don't think it was a couple of grocery bags worth of stuff. It was like $80. I was like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
And Mayor realized it was the first time we had gone grocery shopping in a store since before Christmas. And this was the Super Bowl, where, an average family is going to Kroger's or Walmart or Food Lion or wherever
At least once.
at least once a week.
Yeah.
If I really need something, I'll run up to Family Dollar because
Yeah.
it's right up the road. It's
Well,
convenient. It's
that's
quick.
That's what I was going to say. If you catch one of us at Tractor Supply, it's either because we're doing it for the other companies we work for, or if it's
You just need something quick, and
Yeah.
it's look, you're right
or
here,
It's Saturday. It's Saturday
Saturday
afternoon or
shit.
Sunday morning. We got cows out,
and you got no choice.
and we
at
got
that
no
point.
choice.
Like we go to we naturally go to Melvin's.
Yeah,
We get milk from Sweetland.
yeah.
We go to Boone's, and the problem is when we go to Boone's, it's when I'm hungry.
Oh man. And
Yeah.
they make some really good sandwiches.
Oh no, we
So
get
there's lots of people talking about agriculture and whatever, but I figured it would be easier for you guys to say.
okay. Cindy Cundiff, the best beef around, and I'll add to that.
Disclaimer: she's my mother-in-law.
That's okay, Cindy. We'll take it. Charlie's my niece. Him, I just deal with.
Simon loves you too, Chris.
Yeah.
I just deal with no.
And Chris said that he's not the only one who calls it family. Hang golly.
I grew up in New York City, where we have and this isn't bragging; it's just fact. We have some of the best steakhouses in the U.S., bar none. I don't care if you're in Texas. I don't care if you're in Chicago.
But you know where they get most of their steak from? Texas.
Well, like Ruth,
Or Montana.
Ruth Chris.
Yeah.
They
They was like cowboy way. They just knocked its horns off, wiped his old ass, throw it on the plate.
they do purchase from they have specific farms they deal with
Okay.
or ranchers they deal with in Texas. But Peter Luger's has their own stock.
Mm-hmm.
They do everything is basically in house, if you can imagine that. And if I were to take the two of you to lunch, it would cost me about $400. This is just a lunch. But you're eating
$400, you can get a quarter of a cow in your family, depending on what size your family
This
is.
is
You
New
can eat on it.
This is New York.
Well,
This is New York City.
That's exaggerating a little bit, but
But no, we grabbed the quarter last year, and it was
6.
about by the time everything.
I think processing fee and everything it was like $6.50.
But we
$7.
had almost half the chest freezer full.
Yeah.
We actually still have some of that meat
Yeah.
because I haven't fired up the smoker yet.
It's summertime coming, man.
And last year was interesting.
Yeah.
Waiting for some brine.
Yeah, you see.
Frosting it.
Yeah.
Why don't you bring it out here real quick? Let people see what it looks like who've never seen.
Well, because you're going to see
I almost said something I would have
is it on
You're going
regretted.
to see frost on a pack.
It's not on the other side, is it?
The other side.
The other side has. But
Not
I
for
mean,
sale. All right, that's okay.
this is going to be St. Patrick's Day's dinner.
So
but
that's actually a half.
That's half of a half
Yeah.
of a brisket.
yeah,
So this is a quarter of a brisket.
Yeah.
And just it's fingertip to mid forearm long. Fingertip to inch past my wrist wide.
Yes, I'm going to make a nice little corning brine for that.
And if it was de-thawed, we'd show you how what it looked like a little better.
yeah, the marble. But getting back to what I was saying, I mean, it is actually some of the best beef. You don't need anything on it. Maybe a little salt and pepper if you really like
Are you
that.
talking about our beef?
Yes.
You haven't listened to Simon, have you? I'm gonna rag Simon here for a minute.
Okay, go ahead.
So in one of the podcasts, Simon said, "Yeah, you need to raise your herb garden or herb garden for your spices that will complement your meat very well." And I told him that was a Brit or English thing because around here, a good steak don't need nothing but a little bit of salt, a little bit of butter.
I mean, there are
Maybe
some
some
things I'd
pepper.
love to try. Like, I don't know if you've ever seen the videos where the guys cook them in butter.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, oh, that's like a heart attack on a plate, but it looks
Don't-
good.
Don't ask my wife. Don't ask my wife.
Oh,
I'm always screwing up our steaks. I read that because I want to try.
Well, just because you raise them doesn't mean you know how to cook them.
Well,
That's right.
that's well, Tyler will agree with you on that, but
You just did.
I like to experiment with them. I mean, throw a half a tube of butter in the skillet and braise them and cook them like that, or throw them on the grill and try different things with them, and we've put them in the air fryer before.
Your brisket was really good that you did for our little get together.
Oh yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, so I had two
Yeah,
briskets.
I think we had to leave some for Tyler actually.
I think.
Yeah, I got a couple
Yeah,
pieces.
so we had two briskets. I don't remember how I ended up with the second one. Might have been one I had left over from a previous year.
I think it was.
But
Simon is saying cooking beef is cut relative. He does have a valid point there.
Yeah, he does.
yeah, my Uncle Steve my Uncle Steve and my cousin would agree with you. Just because you cut a steak and call it a steak doesn't mean
It is a steak, yeah. Travis just said, without a doubt, the best beef my family has ever had. Thank you, Travis.
Thank you,
Appreciate
Travis.
it.
Appreciate it, yeah.
But yeah, so I called up my buddy and said, "Hey, you mind if I borrow your smoker?" And he said, "No." So I smoked two briskets, and they was on the smoker for 14 hours. And I'm gonna tell you, it's man, that was some of the best brisket I've ever had. It was a little on the dry side. I think.
What, the one you brought to that get together?
Yeah.
It wouldn't. I didn't think
Well,
so.
the reason I say that is it was on the smoker for 14 hours, and it didn't quite reach. It got to 175, and if I'd have took it to 200, it would have been a little more tender, and I think it just.
Because you had two. You had one without the seasoning.
Yeah, I done one from
straight
Brian
meat.
and Rennie that was just straight meat.
Oh, he was in heaven.
Oh, I know he was. You know Brian's in heaven when he's eating and he's not saying nothing.
Oh yeah. And he can't really eat a whole hell of a lot, so he was very much enjoying that.
But the second one I done, I actually looked up a Texas brisket recipe, and it didn't have near the pepper that it called for because I didn't have nothing at home to grind the peppercorn.
Two things.
Okay, go ahead.
So, one, herb has an H in it.
Who said that? Simon?
That's
I agree with you, Simon.
No.
It's herbs.
No.
I did. I said
No, it's
herb or herb.
And Heather says, herbs add health and healing along with flavor too.
Heather, you've been living with Simon too long, babes.
Well, that is also, she's from Jersey, so up north, there is a lot of cooking with spices and herbs and all the good stuff.
Around here, we like to build linebackers. Short, fat, and stocky. But, Simon's the only man I've ever known to daggone get a prime rib roast in a roast. And then if he decides he wants prime rib the night before, he just slices it.
Off.
Yeah.
We got a rib roast. We were thinking about doing the same thing.
And when he told me that, I was like, dude, you're crazy. And then he told me, because I was like, take that prime rib and make it steak.
Right.
And he's like, dude, we like roast, but even if I decide I want steak, he said, I'll cut a steak off of it, throw the steak on the grill, put the rest in it. And I was like, dude, that's not a bad idea. Now you smoking my kind of.
Oh, Simon also says, wait until I hit you with the oxtail recipe. Have you ever had oxtail?
No.
Oh, I can't believe you guys
I've never had
oxtail.
That is actually, that is a delicacy.
We're just, I'm not even going to call ourselves professional beef raisers. That don't mean we're professional meat knowers.
Well, you have Simon now.
Oh yeah, we got Simon.
Smartest man in the room. Who is Simon?
Thad's not sitting in this room.
Yeah, really. Unless you talk about Marin, well, trust me, she's not a guy. I could attest to that. And so can Chris, apparently.
So we've covered. What do you offer?
Well, we got that.
Well,
where can somebody where can somebody get it? I mean,
we've covered where you can find this, but
what got you started? How long you
Yeah.
guys been doing it? This just went hand in hand.
yeah,
What you're offering, especially with the shares, that's
Yeah.
something that
Yeah.
everybody not everybody actually knows about.
yeah,
And by the way, after this video is done, it'll be uploaded to YouTube as well. Rumble, I can't upload it to Instagram. It's going to be way too long. But it'll have all that information in there, as well as their contact information, their emails, phone numbers. Phone numbers is cool, right?
yeah,
Oh yeah.
Well, it's on the sheet already.
yeah.
I mean,
and it's if you get a T-shirt or a hoodie, it's on the back of that too.
oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
And you could see what you get per share. It'll all be included at the end of the video, so you can actually see it. If you can't do what we've done over the last 2 years and buy a quarter or a half, you can get into the share program. But if you have the opportunity, if it's you and your family, because that's what a lot of people did. Last year, we did it with a couple of friends of ours that live up on Cooper's Cove, and we split a quarter because we didn't, it was only Mare and I. This year we were like, screw it, and we got the half. But if you have a family, you could split it up amongst your family members, figure out your cut sheet, and then give it to Chris.
two things I'd like to cover right quick.
Sure.
We are expanding. We've actually brought his brother on as a producer.
Yeah. I met him when I came.
yeah.
To,
Yeah.
That was his place
Yeah.
with that barn dominium. I hate him right now. I gotta tell you, that's my dream right there.
Good. Yeah.
Because there was like a crappy place there, right? That's new. That's not. That wasn't because I used to drive up that way.
Yeah, we've actually brought him on as a partner to be able. We've kind of reached our max of animals that we can run and still be comfortable with the animal to land ratio that we have right now, and he's got some land.
Because each cow needs a certain amount of space. Right?
Yeah.
I've heard varying things like 4 acres, 1 acre.
With stockers like what we're doing, and we're going, we're seeding our pastures with a grazing mix that'll help them produce a little better too. You can run about two head to 1 acre.
Oh, okay. So you don't need like 1,000 acres.
Right.
You'd like 1,000 acres.
Right.
Yeah, we'd like 1,000 acres.
Which that is with supplementing feed. If we was doing grass fed, grass finished, it'd be
You'd probably want to do an acre
not even
to
an acre and a half or something.
Yeah.
Per head.
So all that takes into account. So and he's got some more acres that he's doing. So he's, we've kind of laid out the step by steps of what we're doing, and he's following in those steps. And with us, pushing his storefront, he's agreed to keep up with what we're doing and do that too.
So now once you have the storefront, then there's some decisions to make, like work. Are you going to keep, because now between raising them, processing them, maintaining them,
Yeah.
and now you have the storefront.
Yeah.
I mean, Caitlin, you may not be in school, but
If
you
my
may
wife,
not be home.
I can tell you, if my wife is not, if she doesn't keep teaching, she will definitely be running a storefront.
Because that's the other thing. Then, that is a big jump
Yeah.
at that point. Once you either buy or lease a space,
Yeah.
and you have it set to
It has to
that,
produce.
yeah.
It has to produce.
And it has to be somewhere where people are going to see it
That's
too.
right. That's right. And the other thing I wanted I mean, we're all about community and upfront and helping our customers. When you buy quarter, half, or whole, you will save money versus it's a bigger upfront cost. The more you buy, the cheaper it'll be. So we had a customer that their family buys a whole cow every year, and I think on average, he said they've been right around that $7.50 to $8 a pound.
Yeah,
mark.
it hasn't really been. In a lot of cases, it's been cheaper.
Yeah.
Than going to Kroger's or Food Lion.
Yeah, but you have to understand that so if it's $8 a pound, you're paying $8 a pound for your steak. Yeah. So it
but $8 a pound for your filet mignon
yeah,
or your ribeye or your
you're paying $8 a pound for your hamburger, but you're also paying $8 a pound for your sirloins, your ribeyes, your roast, no matter what size they are.
Yeah, because I've seen anywhere from $11 to $15 for a halfway decent. Well, it looks halfway decent.
I mean, and if you specified on your cut sheet a tomahawk steak.
Yeah, a tomahawk steak right now.
They're like $35 a pound.
Yeah, yeah. So you're paying $8.
Think about that.
Next
year.
Yeah. So and speaking of next year, so last Saturday, stockyard prices.
No, it's actually Monday.
Monday stockyard prices was two.
I think it's $238 top end for 4-weight steers.
Now is that good or bad, or has it changed?
3 years ago, we cringed paying $1.36 for the same cow, same steer.
And what has caused that is the mad cow disease.
Well, a lot of things went into it.
Well, yeah, I mean, So China and who else we were just talking about today?
England.
No, so, I mean, basically there's a mad cow breakout in South America.
South America.
Oh.
And so nobody's buying cows from South America, so that leaves the U.S. and Australia providing beef for basically the world.
So $2.30 a pound.
That's
for a 4-weight steer, and they're going to push that steer to at least 1,200 pounds live weight, at least.
Now, do they even break even? Because
the feed.
Oh, they break even. Go up in Kroger.
Yeah, you're probably going to see what's hamburger prices are in Kroger right now.
We like I said.
So what I'm saying is,
it's just like eggs. Like I haven't bought eggs in 3 years.
Yeah,
I know.
If you're seeing, and this is what's crazy is because it's being produced in the U.S. and so if you're paying $5 a pound for your hamburger right now, you're probably looking, I'm just rough numbers, $6.50, maybe. I mean, that $6 to $6.50 is probably where it's going to be at. By the time that animal hits its number and gets to the shelf on Kroger, and that was raised on a feedlot. I'm like I said, I am a farmer through and through. I will back any farmer up that treats their animals right, because on the dairy side we use Roundup, we use commercial fertilizer because it's the easiest way for us to be somewhat profitable, or it was.
Yeah.
So I sit on the fence when we get to talking about that kind of stuff, because on the dairy side. But as for my beef business, well, this is how we've decided how we're going to do it. So you have to realize, yes, you're paying that $8 a pound for everything. So you can do one or two things. you can break it down as to what you would pay for. You know, you can take your pack of steaks and say, okay, well, I paid $20 for my steaks and $4 for my hamburger.
Yeah.
I mean, you can twist that number and make it work out however you want to justify paying that $8 a pound for your hamburger.
But there's no comparison. Literally no comparison.
Well, I mean that's for
Supermarket.
that's for our customers to decide. I mean, you see what I'm saying?
I don't
As
think
a person who wants to produce quality beef, I'm not. Yes, I take pride in the well, we take.
Yeah,
pride.
you keep forgetting he's here, man.
Well, I
but
mean,
he's also sitting there very quietly.
He married my sister, so it's kind of been a love-hate relationship, you know.
He hates you because he married his
No,
sister?
no, I hate him because he married my sister, but I love
Why
him. I love him because I got another brother and I got a partner.
Hold on a second. That sounds kind of creepy. You hear what you just said? You hate him because he married your sister. Is there something we should know about here? Something that's just breaking now, live on Facebook. But oh, sorry guys, the dogs are going out.
But I'm not going to sit here. I mean,
Mayor is a customer. Yeah, we're both customers.
you know, I let the customers judge my product.
And I can tell you, knowing quite a few of the people who have been or are your customers, the comments are always the same, and it's not because they're friends, it's not because they're family, it's not. It's good.
Yeah.
It's really, really good.
Yeah.
Simon and Heather have something for you.
All right.
A cook-off sometime soon, Gordon Ramsay style. Lots of British swearing. Swearing is swearing. If it's done with my accent or done with Simon's, the words are the same.
Or if it's done with my slack jaw.
Yes, it's just harder to understand. He speaks funny. And Simon actually did bring up a good idea. Let's do it in Gail and Thad's. And I would definitely be down for that. Have some kind of, I don't know, pick a cut of meat, and everybody makes it their own way. And it's all the same meat. And like Gail and Thad sponsor it, we come up with some kind of goofy prize or award or something.
So what are y'all asking for?
He's
Foggy
saying,
Ridge meat?
yeah, we already have Foggy Ridge meat.
I know, but what I'm saying.
So what he's saying is have a cook-off and see whose idea works best.
Well, it's better with herbs or butter.
Or salt and pepper or nothing
salt
at all.
and pepper.
Or Peter Luger steak sauce. I don't know.
I mean, hey, we're down. We're down.
That might happen. That might actually happen.
We can make that happen.
And we could definitely talk to Gail and Thad, because it would be great to
We could
have a local business sponsoring a local business doing a cook-off, and we could even talk to people about vegetables and different types of produce to complement it. Or I mean,
and what herbs they want.
What herbs and herbs. Bring whatever you got. Oh wait, this is a Seymour one. Hold on.
Who is Seymour?
No, not Seymour like the name. It says S-E-E more.
Oh.
Herbs are good. Showcase the local fair. Yes. Carlton will be the judge. Yeah, I can see that. I could see him sitting there. And the table rising as he's eating. I could see that.
Yeah. Actually, we need.
He's going to shoot me.
Carlton can't be the judge because Carlton is a Foggy Ridge customer.
Why can't he be a judge?
We had to have somebody who is complete. What we need to do is
find somebody who's never had it before.
Thad and Gale.
Yeah, but they're customers too, aren't they?
No, they're not.
Oh, that's right. They raise their own. Forgot about that.
If they host it, they can be the samplers. I think we're on to something.
I think so too. I like the idea.
Actually, Billy can be a
All right,
taste
so
tester,
we're gonna put this out there, and then we're gonna hit up Thad and Gail Montgomery and see if they're cool with it. We're gonna try to use Simon and Heather's idea of having a cook-off. They'll select their cut of meat. I mean, we all basically have the same cuts, I think. I'll be honest.
Yeah,
As far as like roasts and stuff go.
roast, brisket, steaks.
And we'll have if they're down for it, we'll have Thad and Gail decide. We need more than 2 judges though. Billy Riddle, yes, Billy, you have been chosen to be a taste tester.
And we can throw Amos in the mix. Amos is...
Yeah, but Amos is too close to Simon.
Yeah, but I'm going to tell you right now.
Can we trust Amos?
I think we can.
I mean, he did come as Abe Lincoln to the Christmas parade.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, yeah. And you know who else we could have? Just sitting here. We could invite the Moore brothers.
Oh yeah, Billy can make that happen.
Yeah.
That would be an idea.
Yeah.
Get a bunch of people together, and Simon said he'll bribe them all. I don't know what you're going to bribe them with.
The English accent. Oh, my mother-in-law will be there if Simon's going to be there. I can promise you that.
Why does your mother-in-law
My
have a
mother-in-law is in love with Simon's voice.
thing? Has she ever seen Simon?
No.
That'll change real quick.
Like I am on her hit list if I do not get a meeting between her and Simon very soon. Love you, Mom.
Okay. No. Too much in bed with each other, figuratively. Uh-oh.
Who posted that? Heather?
Let's go outside. Well, she does have a good point. It's basically she is making a good point. It's basically by having Gail and Thad and Billy and Amos.
Yeah, but
They're technically inside the family, so they're not really impartial.
Belly,
Here's
Belly, I want you to reach out to our special friends. You know who I'm talking about. If you don't, hit me up. We'll invite them, and we can get some other people.
Yeah, people who aren't part of the bias. Good point.
Yeah, love you
I
too.
love you too. So wait, I got to ask a question, Miss Cundiff. Have you ever seen Simon? Just curious. I mean, yeah, he can be used as biological warfare. I mean, if we ever had somebody come, we just put Simon out there.
Behave. This isn't the podcast. Come on.
Hey, it's not the podcast. Wait, are you picking on Billy's podcast now?
No.
Did you hear that? She was picking on the podcast.
But it doesn't matter. She said they're biased. They're not biased. From what I understand is everybody's going to have their own cut of meat that they're going to cook, and they're going to bring it. And for that matter, we could all set it out on the table,
unlabeled, with numbers. Yeah, that's
with
true.
numbers.
Yeah, but they're going to know yours right away.
Why?
Because there's not going to be herbs or butter on it.
But what I'm saying is they don't have to know. Like, we can all bring our dish, set it out on the table with numbers, and they can go down through there.
And everybody can
sample it.
Yeah.
And decide which one they like best.
I like the idea.
That
and
part
it should
takes
be,
the bias out of it.
Honestly, it should be open to the public, and when it's done, whatever meat. You
Yeah.
know, if it's like 2 pounds, everybody cooks like a 2-pound roast, let's say, or whatever. I cheat and bribe. That's very unprofessional, Simon.
You know what? That's what got y'all's butt whooped in the you know what.
Yeah, that's why you came in second place. Sorry, Simon. I mean, it is what it is.
That's why we. Never mind.
Yeah, we could go really
I
down
was
a
gonna
dark
say,
road with that.
yeah.
I mean, the Constitution's hanging over there, so it's not the Magna Carta. You know what the Mackin Carter is, right? I'll have to explain that to you later.
Okay.
So, any other questions?
Y'all hit us up with questions. I mean, we're here. We're here to.
Even if you are a customer, if there's anything you really want to know, I mean, they're kind enough to take time out of their day to hang out here with me. Unfortunately, they have mayor.
Y'all don't hit up too many questions just yet. I'll be right back.
First on the right, you know where it is.
I don't need your help, Tom.
Wasn't charcoal that was coming. It's your new buddy.
Yeah, you need to have that.
Oh yeah.
Which one? I don't know if Mayor ever told it. Did you ever tell us Jerry's
What?
question? Did you ever answer mine? Ask Chris why these processors separate the point from the brisket. No, that wasn't answered, Jerry. He just stepped out to use the head. Give it 1 minute, unless you want to answer it.
Well, they say it again.
All right, let me get back to
Point.
that.
The point from the sirloin?
Ask Chris why these processors separate the point from the brisket.
I would have to get back with you on that. I couldn't answer you that one.
Do you guys have a
Yeah.
set schedule?
Basically, we're working towards that right now. I mean, basically, we're just trying to get appointments when we can. They're usually booked about a year out.
Really? Damn.
Yeah, I know. See, we took some in November, and that processor put us on for some the following November. But they were booked 14.
So Jerry has a
out.
question for you. Why do the processors separate the point from the flat, or the point from the brisket?
The point from the brisket.
Yeah. A full brisket is a point and a flat.
So, I guess my question is, did they get a quarter? Because if you get a quarter, they would split that brisket between both quarters. Whereas if you got a half, you could get it.
Well, I think that brisket is from last year's.
Okay.
So that's a quarter.
But he got a quarter. I think he ordered a quarter left.
Jerry, did you get a quarter this year or last year?
It'd been last year.
I think he did because I think he split it with Perry.
So
Yeah, I think it was him and his. You split it. You split it with your daughter, right?
yeah. So when you so there's several different ways you can quarter an animal. You can do a front quarter and a hind quarter of a half a cow. And so what we have found is in order to get everybody have, most of your steaks come out of your out of your rear quarter.
Go ahead.
I mean, you have some quality steaks that come out of the front, off your front ribs, but what we had an agreement with the processor that we wanted them to take a half a cow and process it, and we would match the cut sheets up as to what everybody wanted, and we would put those cut sheets as close together as we could get them.
There are 2 briskets in a full cow, correct?
Yes, but
I would say technically
It
it's
can
only
be
one.
4.
It's right here. You cut it in half when you split the animal in half.
Oh, that's right. You guys were showing me that when you actually
when
were
you-
processing
yeah.
the ones that
Yeah.
you were processing
Yeah.
for the family.
so the brisket runs from the base of the neck to the
It was actually well, those were huge cows, but
Yeah.
that was a nice chunk of meat.
So it's basically from the base of the neck to, you know, oh no, it's not half. It'd be. Oh no, it's
You showed me because you
Yeah.
did it by a you did it by a rib.
Yeah.
There was a rib you went to,
Maybe
and
a
that was
third of the way down
Yeah.
the rib cage, I think.
um, and so when you split the cow in half, that's where you get your 2 briskets from. When you get a fourth of a cow, so where I was going with that was we had an agreement with the processor that we'll match the cut sheets up as to what the customers want.
As far as a quarter.
As far as a quarter and a half. So if you have 2 customers that have mine near the same cut sheet and they want a quarter, they'll take that 1/2 a cow, they'll process the whole cow, and then when they're done processing and packaging it, they will divide it out equally.
So basically, that would be a half of a half instead of a front or rear.
Yeah, because you know you get your prime ribs and stuff out of the front.
yeah.
You get your
Every other steaks out of the bag.
yeah. And so if you process a whole half a cow, instead of one person getting all of this and one person getting all of this, you mix it up,
Yeah.
and that gives the customer a little bit of everything. And so when you get a quarter of a cow, you get a quarter of a brisket. I mean, yeah, a quarter of a brisket. So that's, you know,
It's still a nice chunk of meat.
yeah. So that would probably be. I hope that answers your question. I'm not real.
Did that help, Jerry?
Yeah.
I hope.
Each with
With a point, each with a point line and a flat.
Yeah, the 2 brisket.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, you are the biggest baby.
Sure, I understand the process.
Yeah, he was asking why, and that's what Chris was explaining. So everybody gets a little bit. It's not just you're getting this and you're getting this. Everybody gets a little bit of something.
More like the world's most.
Didn't
annoying
April?
dog.
Oh, April, yeah. You missed this.
Okay.
Tyler already answered it. A schedule for processing the beef. But he was just explaining. He was just
Yeah.
explaining how that.
So I know one of the people that joined the group was KC Processing. Have you used them? Spoken to them?
Oh yeah.
KC, yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. Yeah, that's who we used.
But in that
Okay.
in that case,
Well,
with the
She said she
quarter.
knew you actually because I spoke to her on the phone.
Yeah,
But in that, this is from Jerry. But in that case, with a quarter should be a half brisket or half a brisket.
no, no.
You're not telling me.
No,
You're telling Jerry.
So when you buy a quarter of a cow and you want brisket, the quarter of a cow is coming out of 1/2 of that cow.
Come on. Pain in the tuchus. Lay down.
Yeah, so my guess is whoever
Yeah.
else.
Because he wrote originally, but that case, he meant to say in that case.
Oh.
I understand typing so already put
Yeah.
the in.
My guess is though, if
If you
someone
get-
else asked for, or someone else got the other quarter of that cow, then maybe they got the brisket if they had asked for. Like I don't know how they filled out cut sheets, but
Yeah.
I don't know if maybe he didn't get one and that's what the issue was. But don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
I see the smoke coming out of you.
Well,
What you think?
Yeah, I mean, if you buy half a cow, you're going to get one brisket.
Well, you're gonna get technically you're gonna half a brisket, but it should have a flat and point
Yeah.
on that half.
Yeah.
Because you're essentially splitting it in two.
Because you're cutting it as you're cutting along the breastbone and the
Yeah.
sternum.
Yeah.
Right.
Any other questions?
Jerry, if you didn't get a brisket and you want a brisket, you let me know. And sometimes
Do you process dogs? Dog meat's good.
It's beyond my
yeah,
forte.
that doesn't.
I wouldn't eat you. You're old and tough.
He's an old daddy.
He's up there. Flora's 7. 7 years old.
But I won't say the name of the person who was in this chat that said it, but they're a customer of ours, and they've gotten a quarter from us every year for the past 3 years, I think. But going back to being local and knowing about, from the time we take ours to the processor until the time that they get to your freezer is a maximum of 3 weeks.
You don't buy into the monthly subscription program.
Buying a quarter, half, and whole. Yeah, let me rephrase it. So if you buy a quarter, half, and whole from us, from the time we take from the time we take the animal to the harvest, to the processor, to the time you put it in your freezer is about 3 weeks. It's going to hang for 14 days. And then that next week...
Not 28?
No. And then that next week it will be processed. And, if you're able to pick it up on that Saturday or, the next Saturday. This customer, had said to me before, and I've said this on the podcast, that, they've gotten steaks and took them home and put them in the refrigerator to marinate and thaw out
So they were rotten.
for special occasions, and they go to get them out and start cooking them, and they got this off smell. So I mean,
I know the customer.
yeah. So you're getting, if you're, depends on how long it lasts you and your family. But what I'm saying is, it's not an old cow that we just decided to get rid of. And it's not like it's been in the freezer for a whole year.
Well,
either.
for example, like I'll take out like 2 packages of ground beef and use like 1.5 and stick the other half in the fridge. It's literally still good and still red, like filled with blood, for a week.
Yeah.
If you try that with supermarket, there's no way. Like 2 days in the fridge at supermarket, it's already stinky and gray.
Gray. Sure.
But yeah, I mean, to the nuts and bolts of it, we're only a couple of years apart. We growed up together, and we just 2 kids that enjoy.
Sticking your arm up a cow's ass?
No, I don't do that. I don't do that. If you're sticking your hand up one of our cow's rear ends, you got issues.
Well, you got to check for things.
No, everything, all the cows we raise, you check them from the outside, not from the inside.
It's not what I've heard. I've heard stories.
Yeah, we're just 2 guys that love losing money, chasing a dream.
I don't know.
I wouldn't say. I mean, yes, we had to make a little bit of a profit to continue doing it, but we just it's.
Yeah, I think we should do the cook-off.
I'm in 100% agreement with the cook-off. Cook-off challenge accepted.
Well, you heard it here. So, Master Winch, you're going to need to...
That's Sir Winch.
It's not, I will never call him a sir. It just says Jerry's watching.
He come back online.
Anybody else who'd like to get in on this, hit me up. I'm definitely going to talk to Gail and Thad. You're such a whore. Charcoal. Enough, old man. He's the most dangerous one in this room, though.
He sounds like Jerry, don't he?
Wow. I did not say that, Jerry. I love you.
No.
Apparently, he's comparing you to a Chihuahua Pit Bull mix. But anyway, if you're interested in participating, hit me up. The two main challengers in this, Chris and Simon, will decide the cut of meat that will be used. We will have to discuss it with...
I don't think it needs to be... Hey.
Don't you want it to be the same across the board as far as the meat goes? Because a steak, if I got a tomahawk steak, that's going to cook a little bit differently than, a roast.
Actually, I'll do you one better. Simon, you decide to cut a meat, we'll bring it.
It's got to be beef, though.
Yeah, I agree, Jerry. He's talking smack when you're not there. If a rocket suddenly hits my house...
Yeah.
It was nice knowing you.
Yeah, I've survived worse. Can't believe I actually can... Look!
I know.
Oh, you haven't seen these. I'll show you after.
Got you. I was wondering.
Anyway, folks, if you're interested in this, and we're not even goofing off, it came out as a joke, but it's something that would work. If you're interested in participating, please let me know. You better check with your wife to be sure she is willing to give up that cut of meat. Oh.
Actually, I'll do you one better.
Uh-oh, Caitlin.
Well,
I apologize in advance.
I can't do that. I can't do that.
Well,
I was going to say...
You already put it out there, so you might as well.
Well, I was going to say we'll bring a grass-fed steak to the table, too, but that has to go through somebody else.
Oh.
So.
Yes, you will have final approval, Caitlin.
No, she won't. I got a freezer full of steaks.
If he disappears, Caitlin, there's not going to be any questions asked.
Babe, if it disappears, Nick come and got one.
I would ask. Caitlin, can I have a steak?
On a serious note, if anyone is not part of this debauchery that seems to have happened,
it always happens. In my house,
and wants to kind of feature their farm or ranch or whatever poultry place.
Yeah, if you have any local business within Franklin County, and everybody has a different definition of local. Some people it's like a half hour away. I look at it this way: if it's in this county, why not?
But we'd like to showcase you guys as well. So
yeah, if you're interested, and it won't always be like this. We happen, if you can't tell. Yes, Jerry, I'm going to do that too. But before I do that, I really do have to talk to, on a serious note, Gail and Thad, and see if they'd be up for it, and then set up a time, because they have their open house coming in April. Thad's been doing a lot of work on the store. He already has one section set up. We got there today, and the freezers were already moved in. But if they're cool with it, it would be something definitely to do, and it would be open to the general public. I don't know, maybe we could take donations for a local charity that everybody agrees on. So, beneficial in multiple ways, whether it's for a local shelter or food bank or Volley Fire Department. He's telling you he wants you to pet him. You're ignoring him. But if you're interested, it will be on the Facebook page once we know for sure. But it'd be great to know who besides Simon, Heather, Chris, I guess us. Why not? Make like a German pot roast or something. I don't know. That's all kinds of spices and herbs and butters and it'd be everything. Sauerbraten and vinegar. So it's basically never mind. I'm not going to say what I was going to say. Let us know. And you guys have anything you want to add before we?
This Tyler and Chris, two country boys, Foggy Ridge Cattle Company. If you want to call me or email me, I'm 540-598-6928.
540-293-6824.
And the share, I guess, schedule is in the files on the Stay Local Facebook group. When you click on files, you'll see it says Foggy Ridge. You can click on it, download the PDF, and it gives you a breakdown, at least the breakdown at that time. I don't know if anything's changed on it. So it'll be the current breakdown of what they're doing as far as the shares go. And that's it. This was the first one. I don't know. We might have scared anybody else off that might want to do this, but it's us. It's a little bit different. Yes, it's usually it'll be a little bit better. You won't see an AR hanging on the wall and stuff, or the Constitution, or don't. Oh, I thought you were doing something else.
No.
So with that, good night. Say good night.
Night, guys.
Appreciate your time and good night.
You want to hit the finish button? Just push that little